In this video, we will discuss how Palo Alto Firewall App ID identify application inside the traffic. So when Palo Alto Firewall receive a traffic, it can be encrypted, either it can be decrypted. These two are the main possibilities. In case if the traffic is decrypted, so how they will identify application and decrypted SSL traffic? Why is decrypted? Because we have configured decryption policy. So if I go to our firewall and go to policies and decryption, so we already configure decryption policy to decrypt all the traffic. So whenever a user from inside try to access any URL, so it's gonna use the certificate of Palo Alto Firewall. In this case, twitter.com is using the certificate of Palo Alto Firewall. So when the user try to access this twitter.com, if I go to monitor, so the traffic will be decrypted by the firewall. And here you will see decrypted. Okay, let me go to twitter.com because it was not. So suppose if I type here Twitter base, okay, and let's see it is decrypted or not. So definitely it's decrypted, and here is decrypted. So it will check the inside and it will identify that this is Twitter application. So this is one way. And we discussed it can use a signature, it can use decoder, it can use heuristic method to identify the application and inside the decrypted SSL traffic. So a user type twitter.com and is reached to the firewall decrypt the traffic and identify that this is a Facebook chat, this is a twitter.com, and they identify the application. This is one way. Now coming to the second way. Suppose if you haven't configured decryption policy in your Palo Alto firewall, or maybe you have configured decryption policy, but there is, if you go to no decryption, maybe you have configured no decryption for suppose financial services, government, shopping, or some other URL. So what will happen in that case? If the traffic is coming to Palo Alto firewall and it is encrypted, so how they will identify application if the traffic is encrypted? In that case, Palo Alto firewall use two methods. One is the common name field in the certificate. Let me go to any URL which is encrypted. So in this case, Facebook is encrypted. They are using their own certificate rather than to use Palo Alto firewall certificate. It can be any financial and any medical or any URL. So it will not be decrypted. Now in this certificate, you can see there is a common name, facebook.com. It will identify from here. Even if you go in detail and go to subject inside the certificate, so you can see the common name is facebook.com. And from here, it will identify that you are using Facebook. If I go to here and type Facebook, even though it's encrypted, but still they identify them that this is a Facebook. They identify them that this is a Facebook based application. And what is the reason? The reason is from this certificate, common name. Because when the user send the traffic to Palo Alto firewall, it will use the CN in this certificate and it will fetch the information. It's so easy because in the certificate, when they exchange the certificate, they will get the name from there and they will identify them. In the case if the one hosted website like in Facebook, this is one method. Second method is server name indication. server name indication, or we call them SNI. Okay, they will use the TLS protocol extension, and from there they will identify name of the application. Let me show you. So I already capture a packet here on port number 1/3. Okay, and this is my system 10.0.1, and it's going outside. So in the client hello, there is in the TLS extension, we have a TLS extension, TLS, this is TLS, and if I go here, there is one extension with the name server name. Okay, and here it's a server name indication extension, and here is written the name is Microsoft because I visit Microsoft here, and from here, because it was encrypted, so they identify the name and name of the application from here. You see server name, let me zoom it, server name indication. Server name indication SNI is basically extension of TLS. Okay, and from here it will easily identify even though the traffic is encrypted. Maybe if you have multiple sites, you have same IP address, however on the same IP address you hosted a different application. So in that case, again it will use during the TLS handshake. Okay, it will use SNI, I just show you. It will use that, and from there the SNI field, what they will do, they will identify the application. I just show you the Microsoft one, and this way they will check that it is application 2 or application 1 or application 3. So this is the way. So we have two possible situations. The traffic can be encrypted. So how they will identify? If the traffic is encrypted, so again there is two methods. The traffic is encrypted, one hosted website, either multiple hosted website on the same IP. If multiple, so in that case they can use SNI, I just show you, to identify the application name. If it is single, again they can use SNI, either they can use common name field in the certificate to identify the application. If not, maybe in some cases this certificate name is not there, this common name is different, then they will say this is SSL or something. They will identify them like that. It is also possible. Maybe I mentioned in the, if the firewall cannot identify the traffic using either the CN field, either the SNI field during the TLS handshake, then the traffic identify SSL. Then they will say it's a SSL in simple word, because they never fetch the common name from the certificate, neither from the SNI. Is possible. Then they will say it's a SSL application. So this is the way how Palo Alto firewall identify application if the traffic is encrypted, either the traffic is decrypted.